Hello everyone, my name is Gewu, come from Sorbonne University in France. Today I'm glad to be here to present our recent research with Potop-Butucaru and Mikaël Rabie. The topic is wireless broadcast with short labels. This work is about a question: how to achieve the determinist multi-hop broadcast in a collision-present network with the help of labeling. So before we can answer these questions, let's break this question down to three definitions. The first one, what is a determinist multi-hop broadcast? The determinist multi-hop broadcast means that we need to achieve the broadcast in a determinist way in a multi-hop network or the graph topology. The basic ideas can be seen as here in the time t0 in this graph-based network topology. There's only one single source node, which is S, in the middle of the network. We're trying to send message to all the other nodes in the network. But right now, because of the distance, because of the environment, so he can only send the message to his neighbors. So that at the beginning of the next time slot, which is T1, then all the neighbors of S will receive the message and trying to resend all the message to their neighbors. And then if at the end of the Tn, all the nodes in the network receive this message from S, then we say the broadcast is succeed. And then the second definition is collision presence network, where the reception of two messages at the same time will fail. So let's take an example. Let's focus on the situations of time t1. When the neighbors of S receive the message and then they will resend this message one more time. So in these cases, some nodes will receive the message sent from the neighbors of S in the same time. So for example, here we have several blue nodes will receive the messages sent from the red node at the same time. So we will have the collisions at the receiving node, the yellow ones. In this situation, all the yellow nodes cannot receive correctly the message sent from the red node, because we consider that the signal come to the yellow nodes will be overlapped, so that no one can decode it, all of them correctly. The situations of collisions is well known in the wireless communication environment. So this is why we can represent the wireless network by this kind of the graph topology by considering the collision situations. The last one definition is the labeling scheme. The idea of labeling scale is that we will pre-compute some additional information offline, and then we give these informations to the nodes so that they can reduce the online computations during the algorithm execution. By using the labeling scheme, as additional information has been added to some nodes, we can therefore reduce the time complexity of the online execution. But the disadvantage is we have to store additional information in the nodes. So in this case, the size of the additional information have to be stored in the node will be very important for us to investigate. And even in sometimes, if we don't use additional information like labeling, we cannot achieve some kind of the problem. For example, the leader selection between two identical nodes. Here, without any additional information, these two nodes cannot choose by distributed way a only leader graded by both of them. However, if we add additional information to both of them, for example, the labeling information, and here only one bit of the labeling is enough. So let's give the first node a label with 0 and the second one with 1. By holding this information, they can exchange the information between them so that they can agree with the single leader. For example, the ruler can be who has the smallest labeling numbers will be the leader. Okay, so let's go back to our previous questions. How to achieve the deterministic multi-hop broadcast in a collision-present network with the help of labeling. Talking about the recent work given by the Fitz-Allen team, they can use only 2 bits of label to achieve the broadcast without argument in general network within 2t time, and 3 bits of labels for broadcast with argument in general network for 3n time, where n is the total number of the nodes in the network. For our propositions, we can use only 1 bit of labels to achieve the broadcast without argument in a level separable network within 2d time, and only 2d bits of label for the broadcast with argument in label separable network in 2d round, where d is the diameter of the network. But one question is, what is the level separable network? So the level separable network actually is one of the special network topology coming from our recent research about the wireless body area network. In this kind of the network, the connections between each node have a specific conditions. It is, of course, the subset of general network, but actually, it includes the tree and the line topology. To explain what is the label separate network, so let's begin with this example. Given a network with only one source node, representing by different label, the label here is the distance between each different node to the source node. In this example, we have 4 labels. Level 0, we have only the source node. We have 3 nodes in level 1 and 5 nodes in level 2, and actually 7 nodes in the level 3. The given network topology is a level separable network if, except for the first level and the last level, for all the other levels, if the nodes in each level can be separated into 2 different sides, like here, the green one and the red one. And also for each node n in level L plus 1, at the level of L, at least the one set, the red one or the green one, contains a single neighborhood of n. Then we say this network is a level separate network. So for example, let's see the level 3. For every blue node, they have actually only 1 numbers in the red side of level 2 or the green side of level 2. And the same for the nodes in the level 2. And now let's see how to use this level separate network to achieve the broadcast in the collision present network. So let's begin with the assumption of the time is round based. And then we give the different nodes belong to the different sides, the red one or the green one, the different labels. For the red one, they have the label equal to 0, and for the green one, they have the label equal to 1. We let the different nodes with different label can wake up in the different phase of every round. So for example, for the node in the red phase, they will wake up and send a message at the first phase of the round. And for the node in the green phase, they will wake up and try to send a message at the second phase of a round. So let's begin with the source nodes. Initially, it's the source node will begin the transmission. We say at the end of the round 0, the source node sends the message to all his neighbors in the level 1. And then at the first round 1, phase 1, is the node in the right side will wake up and send the message to the next level. And then at the second phase of the first round, is the right node wake up and send their message to the next level. So here we can see even there's one node in the middle in the green side of the level 2 have received 2 messages sent from the green neighbor and the right neighbor, but there's no collisions because these 2 messages has been sent in different phases of the round. So there is no collisions, no overlapping receptions. And here we can see that at the end of the first round phase 2, all the nodes in the level 2 have already received the message correctly at least 1 time. And at the round 2 phase 1, as the right nodes in the level 2 wake up and send the message to the level 3. And finally, at the round 2 phase 2, the green nodes wake up and send their message to the level 3. And this time, we do have a collisions at the middle of the node in the level 3. But it doesn't matter, because before this collision happens, this node has already received successfully 1 message. And in this time, we can see all the nodes in the level 3 have already received at least 1 copy of the correct message from us. So we also can see at the end of the round 2 phase 2, all the nodes in the network receive the message sent from us, so we can say the broadcast is succeed. And as by using this way, every 2 phases of a round, the old message will flow from one level to the next level. So we can say that we need only 2D times to finish this broadcast, where D represents the maximum level present in the network. Sometimes when we finish the broadcast, we want that the source node can be notified. They can know when the broadcast will finish, and then it can do something else, can do some additional another actions. So in this way, agreement ACK is necessary to send back to the source node. The traditional way to send back an agreement is when the last node receives this message broadcast by the source node, the last node will send back the agreement, and this agreement will following the way until they go back to the source node. And when S receive this agreement, they know that okay, the broadcast is finished and I can do something else. But in our solutions, as we can see, the broadcast will finish for sure at the 2D round. So in these cases, instead of waiting the finish of the transmission, finish of the broadcasting, and then the finish of the going back of the agreement message, we can directly ask one node in the middle way to send back the agreement in advance, to ensure that the source node can receive the agreement at the same round of the end of the broadcast. So for example here, let's begin the transmission of the message to the level 1, 2, and 3. When the message passed from the level 2 to 3, at the end of the transmission, the marked node, the right one, can send directly back the agreement to the source node. The agreement and the real message will go up and go down separately, and they will reach to their destination at exactly the same round. So please notice that the transmission way of the agreement is following the same idea of the message broadcasting, which means only at the one phase of 2, the agreement can be sent. It looks good, but the question is how can we verify if a network is the level separate network or not? And unfortunately, The answer is we cannot do this easily because this is an NP-complex problem, so we have already proved it. But the results of the level separate network is still interesting for us because from our research, all the network topologies of the body area network, which is the one of our research area, they are all the level separate network. When you keep only the strong links between the nodes of the network. So these results encourage us to think maybe it's in the real world there's a lot of network. They are the level separable, but we cannot find them easily. So for us, the next step is to find a good way to do the approximation of the verification of level separate network. So here is a conclusion of our presentation. Our research is following the work from Faith Allen about the question how to achieve the deterministic multi-hop broadcast in a collision-present network with the help of labeling. We first introduce a new type of network topology, which is the level separable network. And then, based on this kind of network, we propose our solutions, which can achieve the broadcast with only 1 or 2 bits in both the environment with acquittement and the environment without acquittement. Both of our solutions will finish the broadcast in only 2D rounds, where D is the diameter of the network. We achieved the broadcast in multi-hop environment with the presence of collisions, faster and less memory requirement compared with the work of Faith Allen. And thank you for your attention. If you have any questions or you have any ideas about the using of this kind of level separate network, we'll be very happy to hear from you. So here we list our address mail, which is our first name, last name, at lib6.fr. Thanks a lot, and this is the end of my presentation.